He had everything: success, reputation, charm. The kind of man who could light up a room and close any deal with a smile. He worked in a world driven by money, fame, and power, a business that turned people into numbers and dreams into profit. He told himself it was about passion, about helping others reach greatness. But somewhere along the way, he stopped believing that, until one sleepless night changed everything. It started with a thought, ooh, a whisper, really. What if we cared more? What if we stopped chasing money and started standing for something real? He poured his heart into a manifesto, a declaration that said what no one else dared to say, that the business had lost its soul. That integrity mattered more than numbers, that people should come before profit. He printed it, handed it out, and for one brief, shining moment, he felt free. And then he was fired. Just like that, the man who thought he was untouchable was suddenly on the outside looking in. The phone stopped ringing. The friends disappeared. The applause faded. He was left with one client, one person who believed in him when the rest of the world didn't. A football player, loud, proud, complicated, and determined to make the world see his worth. He wasn't the easiest person to believe in, but maybe that's what made him the right one. Together, they started over. No safety net, no support, no guarantees. Just two people trying to prove that loyalty still meant something. And somewhere along that journey, the man who had built his life on appearances met someone who saw through them. She wasn't like the others, not dazzled by his charm, not impressed by his fall from grace. She believed in him not for who he was, but for who he could be. At first, he didn't understand what that meant. He mistook admiration for love, gratitude for connection. He said the words he thought she wanted to hear, but his heart wasn't ready yet. Because real love, the kind that strips you bare, requires truth. And he hadn't learned how to tell it. He stumbled. He failed. He lost again. But sometimes you have to lose everything before you can see what's worth keeping. Through the chaos, through the heartbreak, through the pressure of watching others succeed while you're barely standing, he found something he'd never had before: authenticity. He started to see that success wasn't about the contracts or the cars. It was about the moments, the late night phone calls, the quiet victories, the people who never stopped believing. When his one client finally got his moment under the lights, when the cheers filled the stadium, he realized something profound. It wasn't his win. It was their win. Because loyalty, real loyalty, isn't about what you get from people. It's about what you give to them. And then, in the most ordinary moment, standing in the doorway of a quiet living room, he said the words he'd been too afraid to say before. Not the ones meant to impress, but the ones meant to heal. And for the first time, he wasn't alone. He didn't need the spotlight anymore. He didn't need the applause. He had something better, a reason to keep going. Because the truth is, this was never a story about sports or money or business. It was about connection, about rediscovering what it means to care. He started the story as a man with everything and ended it as a man with just enough. Enough love, enough purpose, enough truth. And sometimes that's all we really need. Can you guess the movie?